Welcome to Cosmic Conversations. You are tapping into the root of the symmetry to tune in to the mind of Mercury. And I am your psychedelic psychopomp, Chase Clarence Calloway. In today's episode of Cosmic Conversations, we are about to have a conversation of perception being projection. And really, this is forever. All of life, forever and ever. Perception is projection. All right, perception is projection. Okay, perception is projection. Projection is perception. It works both ways. Okay, so what this means is people can only perceive you as far as they perceive themselves. So I, as a spirit that actually built Mercury, I watch and observe how the entire universe is created by individuals who want to connect with other individuals. So now they're creating structures that allow their spaces to become something that they can all relate upon, right? So now your whole family is literally spirits that you have chosen to relate with over and over and over again. But that's only possible because you have a soul. So the whole point is that you are an individual God. You as a spirit create a God that allows you to imagine how you fit into the universe. And then once you connect with that, you create a soul that sustains your imagination. This is where we get your heartbeat. Okay, this is what your vibration is. That's literally your soul that sustains your ego. That's why your body's alive right now, right? Your heart's only beating because your subconscious mind, your soul, your internal water memory is vibrating, literally, so that your blood can be sent out and everything can happen, right? So the whole point is knowing that you are an infinite individual. I know this. Everyone who is on Mercury with me, all of my Mercurian spirit family, we know this because we literally observe how the entire universe has always been and always will be created by individuals looking to connect their imagination to other individuals' imaginations. And then it's like this whole infinite process of how we communicate ourselves into existence. How do we build structures that represent who we are so that we can actually build families that allow us to die comfortably, right? Because that's all any religion is about when we're thinking about human fulfillment, right? To bring it to a 3D level. When we're thinking about like, oh, a fulfilling life, any religion is going to be about you building some kind of family that you can comfortably die with. Okay, so this is why perception is projection. I know my family. I have my family. My family's not down here like that, but the whole point is my family is operating in the astral realm as I operate down here in the physical realm. Okay, so as my family's in the astral realm, I'm in the physical realm. So when people in the physical realm tell me that I need to get consumed and hooked onto their family and that I have to worship them, and they keep coming into my space to tell me this, that's literally the genocidal colonizer energy that built America, right? This is the general Christian. That's going to be the next cosmic conversation. Today, we're addressing that kind of energy, but this is in the lighter way, right? So think of like the cosmic consciousness people in terms of the internet, right? That's why I named this Cosmic Conversations because it's the language that we have to use, right? Cosmic Conversations is good for igniting your cosmic consciousness, but thinking about the cosmic consciousness is not the same as the conscious community, right? So people in the conscious community, from everything that I've seen, is basically new age, a new wave Christianity. It's still just saying that everyone has one heavenly Father, and that is either the universe or the spirit that created the universe. But we're all connected by one source. And then that's where I have to go cut through all my emerald tablets because they're all just like full of this garbage. They're all just full of complete trash lies that are meant to enslave you, that are meant to trap your soul, that are meant to make you a slave to someone who only wants the worst for you, to someone who only wants bad things for you. That's all we've seen in the history of America. Okay, and that's why these entities completely steal my creations as Hermes, okay, as Metatron. So I'm so in touch with who I am. I know this, right? Like this, I have to do a video like this because in the world, perception is such projection that you can't just talk about it like this. This is wisdom that you have to go out of your way to get, right? So that makes you special as a viewer, as a spirit. Objectively, it makes you special. because that means that you're subconsciously ready for these kinds of keys, straight up. Because once you really know that perception is projection, it's really easy to see how everyone is lost in their imagination. On Mercury, we see how everyone's imagination builds reality. So we are not lost in our imagination. Like, we use our imagination to connect with other people's imaginations. And that's where I articulate everything with Hermeticism. Everything that I have is Hermes, Trismegistus in general. This is why I'm labeled Trip C, Chase Clarence Calloway. It's about tripling my C. So I've been tripling my communication abilities through lifetimes, and it's just tripling your 333 so you can be that nine-dimensional being. You realize who you are. You realize that you're the consciousness creating connections by creating a universe that can allow you to exist, and then that's just like a whole simulation, a symmetry simulation, okay? So I know that when I'm talking to people and dealing with people, they're basically talking, they're just projecting their beliefs at me, right? So anytime I'm talking to someone who believes in a religion, it's impossible for them to see me as who I am. Like, they're only about to be there telling me what they believe and how I should believe it too. And if I don't believe it, then they're like practicing tolerance in their mind. It's such a colonizer mentality. So I got a message from someone on Instagram, and they wanted me to participate in their experiments, basically. And my spirit, for some reason, like, I'm super down to support artists. I love artists. It's just about you have to be an artist that is creating from the space of being an infinite individual, I suppose, I realized. Like, I don't want to be roped into art that's telling me that I have to worship someone else when I know who I am and I've been building the universe. I'm way bigger than any concept you can throw at me. So I can just see the energy that your concepts are relying on. And then I could give you the history of where they're coming from. And if you cared about that history, you're intelligent. You're more in your soul. If you don't care about the history, then you're not intelligent. You're ignorant. There's ignorance, that's the ego, and intelligence, that's the soul. If you want to be truly intelligent, you go to soul work. If you want to be ignorant, that's cool. Do that ego work, right? And life is about balance because we're all ignorant about something. The moment you're experiencing your awareness, you as a space are ignorant to things outside of yourself, basically. That's like the point of the ego. Your experience of yourself as a spirit is completely individual to you. It only has to do with you as a spirit, as the observer of the body that you have created to manipulate into existence, right? So only you can observe how your heart feels. Only you can observe what's going on in your body, right? No one else is here to observe what's going on in your body. So that's how you know that you as a spirit made your body. Okay, you can learn way more about this in Chase Your Genes. All right, we go deep, okay? But the point is, I know who I am. So when people are coming up and talking to me, they're just telling me who they are, and that's fine. But the thing that we get with perception being projection is that spirits really only, when they're in their ego, they can only connect with you on their imagination. So on Mercury, we can connect with everyone on their own imagination because we're in the soul. Like on Mercury, we do real soul work. So we're in that water element that becomes air. And we can communicate about how all these individuals are connecting to create the universe. That's Mercury. All right, that's my simulation. I made that as a spirit alone. All right, people help me make it, but it's mine alone. It's just like when you say that this is your body, right? So this is my body. I made this body alone. That being said, no, I didn't, right? Like other spirits are helping me make this body, and I'm infinitely grateful to them. I have so many other spirits working together to make this structure with me right now. So like super grateful to every single one and last of them. Last one of them, whatever. All of them. All the cells in my body that are connecting and communicating so that they can build the muscles that allow my mind to manipulate into reality. Thank you, right? Genuine gratitude to you. GG. I love you. Love your body. Right? So I know I'm creating my body. I know like this is how I have all this gratitude and super deep emotion for my body. That's part of the Mercury wisdom. Like As Hermes, I'm god of like gymnastics, and in general, that's why Spider-Man is a Mercury idea, because Spider-Man is about air in general, and Spider-Man is about like interdimensional communication and seeing how everything is connected, and then like the webs of time, and really about spiders being eight dimensional beings. That's not what this is about. Okay, you can get into the Symmetry podcast, Symmetry podcast, my Synchronicity podcast, where I'm symmetry, I'm symmetry, whatever. Hilarious. You can see the air right now, right? Where I'm just like going. Sometimes you go so fast, you say the wrong thing, and now you kind of like esoterically trip. So let's not esoterically trip. Synchronicity podcast with your boy Symmetry. It's a Symmetry podcast, but whatever. I don't know if that would come up when you type it in. The point is, it's synchronicity. You can see that on the website. That's where we get into all the spider shit and in general nature, in general, the whole eight dimensionality of spiders is episode 2. So again, I know who I am, right? Like I could just be here talking about like all the ways I connect ideas, and this would only be an expression of me, right? So when people are coming up to me and they're telling me that I need to worship their ideas, me as a spirit that built Mercury, I already see how it's been connected to the universe. So I have a much greater perspective in that way. And then that's where I just provide this air, some breath, to chop up the demonic earth that's trying to box me into a certain way of thinking and a certain way of life. And then that's where I can breathe free. Be free, breathe free, fly. And that's your mind, right? So this is like what you do all the time. I'm letting you know, like, this is communication. Okay, so when someone has a belief structure, their mind is confined to the structure. So they can't perceive your mind outside the structure, right? So that's literally why a Christian, because Christians don't believe in past lives, me talking about being Enoch, talking about being Hermes, talking about being Tahuti, Quetzalcoatl, all these things are unrelatable. Like all of me talking about my past lives, completely unrelatable to a Christian, because their box of thinking, their box of life taught them not to believe in that. So they feel like they have the authority to tell me that I'm not me. So now they're going to tell me that I haven't lived before, even though I'm literally giving them the whole history of the Merkaba, the history of the Caduceus, the Emerald Tablets, Zoroastrianism, and like Hermeticism, like so many other things. So just history in general and where their religion came from. But this is where I learned that people who are truly in their ego, they don't give a fuck about history. So these are the Christians, these are the general religious people that just want to eat. They just want to consume. They're causing climate change because they just want to eat, use their ego to burn up the environment. And this is how they're going to spread their love. And now they're going to keep saying that this is love because they're going to keep projecting hate at you and keep telling you to hate yourself and keep telling you that you're wrong and keep telling you that you don't know who you are. This is what love is. Right? So that's like in general, like the conscious community in a lighter degree. In the conscious community, that whole love and light thing where it's all like, we're all part of one source. That's all garbage in my Emerald Tablets, right? You can check out Tablet Talks with Tahuti. We cut all that shit up. Because the whole point is that this English language, the white supremacist intentions of this English language is to make you believe that everyone is the expression of one individual. So now no matter where you go in the universe or no matter what you see, you believe that you're looking at one man using everyone to masturbate with himself. That's the whole belief of monotheism as a whole. That's the point of monotheism, that we're all extensions of one source, one man, one cosmic body, masturbating, fighting, and talking to itself. I'm letting you know that that's not true. That's the biggest lie in the universe. Like the biggest lie in the universe. It's disgusting. Okay? So considering that this is where most people's in the spiritual community, where their minds are at, they act like they will perceive something greater, but it's just because they want to, right? So I get that this life, it's a journey. It's about people clinging to ideas and doing more research, doing more shit on the internet, and like clinging to a new idea, then a new idea that makes sense to them. And it's a whole thing where all of us as individuals have to create life together. If I didn't create Hermeticism, all these religions that people are clinging to would not be able to be real. If I didn't create Zoroastrianism, all these religions that people are clinging to would not be able to be real. So I have a much greater perspective on all these religions than anyone can even imagine, right? So I can't take it personal. You feel me? That's where like this is all about learning. This is all about chopping it up, literally. This is all about seeing the bricks that people are laying in front of me to try and box me into a certain way of thinking, and then me just being an airbender, me being a space bender, breathing some chi into that. All right, now we can see how all that earth meant nothing, right? We can see how all this means nothing, but how that nothing is the expression of a spirit, right? So we can see the expression of this spirit, and we can see how the expressions of these spirits mean nothing, right? Just like you can say that the expression of me talking about other people's expressions mean nothing. Then at that point, you can just go full nihilist mode and say everything means nothing, right? And you're technically not wrong, because the nothing created the thing to represent its knowledge, its no thing. So only I as nothing can create something to represent my thing. And then that's where this thing means nothing. So someone wanted me to be a part of their like experiment or whatever. And this is where people always have to like come and approach you with love. Like everything has to look loving. But it's about peeping out the vibration of what space are they actually trying to take you to. Literally. Like, what space are they trying to take you to? That's what we're talking about here. All right, you're rolling with Chase Clarence Calloway. So as Chase, I care about your space. What space are these people taking you to? I, as Hermes Trismegistus, only care about you being connected to your own space. Because when you're connected to your own space, you can create life from the inside out and build a beautiful, awesome simulation that adds to the universe way better than if you got connected to someone else's space and they like drain and siphon your energy. So someone hit me up on my account. This is my Symmetry account, okay, on Instagram. And this person, their name is basically, I'll say their name, it's whatever. It's Breathing Light Ascension. Okay, so Breathing Light Ascension, like that's like a whole spiritual name, right? Like, whoa, breathing light ascension, right? They have ascension, like, oh, it's Ascending Academy. We're connected, right? Boom. Wow, we use the same kind of words. We're in the same language, in the same world. We must be reflections of each other. Nah. But, right, of course, it's all subconscious. So this person feels connected with me. So message me this. Hello, CC. We were drawn to your profile and the energy you project, your interests, healing, alchemy, esotericism, your obvious pull towards the source of power. Right there, I'm like, God damn. Right there, the source of power. You are the source of power. So them telling me my pull towards the source, no, there's no the source. Everyone is a source. The source is your source. That's a source. The source of power that allows your source of power to exist would be the universe, but then that's where we get balance in duality. And you as an individual building a relationship with the universe. And the universe is literally created by all of us as individuals. So now it's about you having a relationship with yourself that very easily translates to your relationships with everybody. And then that's where we get authenticity, right? So that's already just huge strike in the first paragraph towards the source of power. Like through all of my fasting, I'm not drawing from the source. I'm drawing from my internal chi. I'm drawing from my spirit. All of my spirit, all my magic is Hermes Trismegistus. That's me as a space. That's not me being like, there's one source, but that's how they mess up my tablet. So I get it. People read the shit on Amazon. That's why we're decolonizing, okay? It's deep. We could use your assistance with our sonic experiments, healing exercises that we hope can bring even a little bit more light into these stressful, troubling times. We are a group of meditative spiritual practitioners and professional musicians, engineers who have joined together to act as a conduit to the invisible world. Cool. We are a group of men and women. Most are parents of children. In our own small way, we are trying to aid in creating a more harmonious future. We are not looking for money or commitment from anyone, simply open minds and ears. Forgive the cold DM. We come from love and seek only peace and connection. All right, so colonizers always seek peace and connection. You know what America was built on? You know what the genocide of Native Americans was built on? Europeans seeking, not being peace and connection, seeking outside of themselves, going way far out of their way to seek peace and connection, which means that they internally feel like they're at war with themselves. So they're looking for peace out here. They don't feel at peace in here. They don't feel whole in here. That's the Christian Holy Spirit. It's not whole, so it needs to possess and move through everyone and convince you that that's not possession somehow, and that's proper. But you should be scared of possession from people that aren't the Holy Spirit. There's what seeking is. Seeking is when you feel unfulfilled, so you need to go drain other people's energy. It's that simple. This is how all of the Americas was created. Okay, so seeking peace and connection is literally what enacts genocide and profitable genocide, religious genocide. It always has to look like love and light. That's the whole way that Christians rationalize saying, hey, your past doesn't matter. Your life doesn't matter. You need to sacrifice your entire life to Jesus because you don't matter. Jesus matters. Worship him, or else we're going to keep telling you to worship him and keep projecting at you, and we're going to do horrible things to you and your family, then lie about it anyway and say that it's okay because we're the chosen ones. Like this is how the banking system rationalizes using war to make so much money off of violence. It's disgusting. And make it look like love and peace and light. And it looks like stealing all this wisdom that used to be normal. This is the point of me having the Merkaba and the Caduceus and the Emerald Tablets and the pyramids and everything with Zoroastrianism and Hermeticism. Just everything I do is Mercury from past lives up to this point. So it's just this time is so wild. All right, I'm really, really on this a wild alone mission, okay, bringing all this into reality. Shout out my soul group, wherever they're at. Right now, I'm alone. I'm not like connected with anyone. As of this point, up to this point, it's literally just me and my Mercurian team. Like my whole team from Mercury. Like everyone related with my simulation is symmetry. But they're invisible spirits. Those are all invisible spirits. And then I have my friend Sashat. All right, so you can look up Sashat, female consort of Thoth. The whole point is she's like the complete balance to the Thoth part of me. So I'm way bigger than Thoth as a spirit. But when I express myself, I resonate very much as Tahuti. I'm using Thoth for white people, white supremacy. It's Tahuti. All right, so Sashat is the counterpart to the Tahuti part of me. So I'm Earth in my Tahuti mode. And then that's me building. And Sashat, she has the water that helps nourish the earth. And then boom, we get creation. Just like Anubis is also the water, right? So Anubis and Sashat are both Atlantis. And then that's where Anubis and Sashat, being so related to Atlantis, are very important to me. That's my family, right? And then that's where we get the Atlantean family. So I have my Mercurian family, my Atlantean family. These are like my two spiritual families. And then, I mean, there's way more, because then I had, like, my Valkyrie family is Odin. And, like, they go really fucking hard. And then at that point, I would have to start listing all the factions and groups that I have built a big relationship with in past lives. And that's not what this is about. Let's continue. Absolutely. I love the concepts you're communicating to me right now. Because I did like the concepts he was saying, and I'm open. Like, I want to support people at like outright. That's me as a Taurus. As a Taurus, I'm definitely supportive. The whole point is it's coming from a Gemini place. So I want to talk about how do you support yourself? Like what do you have going on here? Like what space are you coming from? Right? And then that's me as a Virgo looking at the details of like what space are you coming from? as I give you support. Vibrational healing is a natural way to recalibrate one's body, so I like that you've got sonic experiments going on. Breathing Light Ascension replies, blessings, man. We work every day at this practice, but would like to start sharing some of the results. We employ a variety of instruments and techniques to channel the light. Importantly, we also attach conductors to plants, fruit, flowers, and allow their natural energies to trigger synthesizers. We would like to see what you experience with the piece, given your knowledge of altered states, higher consciousness, etc. You can simply listen and breathe, consult cards, practice a short ritual, however you wish to take it in. But we are genuinely interested in knowing if the power we are channeling can be transmitted to a listener. We continue to work very hard to bring this light in and filter it into sound in a way that can hopefully be of service to people in their own spiritual practice. Having someone like you experiment with our work and perhaps attest to its power would be great validation for us. And again, I support this from an organic space. My spirit just wanted to get to the spiritual root of the matter, and then that's where this became more of a conversation about the spirituality of what's going on here. Because you always got to see the strings that are attached to something that someone's bringing you, basically. So I like the whole idea of it and everything, and supporting Ascension, checking out someone's music, someone's audio work to get into an altered state of consciousness. I love the whole concept, absolutely. It's just again about the space it's coming from, okay? If you're interested in engaging with this particular meditation, please let us know and we can send you audio files directly. So instead of me immediately saying yes, this is where my spirit was like, hold up, a little Gemini energy, and sprinkle a little Gemini right in there, turn into some Virgo real quick, solidify as a Taurus, because that's literally how my spirit moves. It's very funny to me because I could go into that more, but I'd just be talking about myself, and we're talking about this person and our conversation. But the point is, I would have to not know who I am to feel like I need to get tapped into another source of power. So this was coming from an interesting place that my spirit felt like it wanted to talk about more. So my reply is, super cool. What is the point intention of this meditation? To simply vibe, relax, and observe? They replied, they kind of happen to us in a state of receptivity. The point of sharing is to research and see results that occur in a listener. ... Let's put it this way. By entering a state of pure receptivity, we receive information from the cosmic consciousness and attempt to translate this into the form of vibratory meditative sound pieces. Right there, I'm like, bro, this is Christianity. You're just talking about being possessed by something else. Receiving information from the cosmic consciousness and then attempting to translate it. You're just talking about me doing that for myself, which I'm happy to do for myself. I'm happy to do it for myself. Honestly, I already do that for myself. So this is just where I'm already thrown off. I'm like, but I don't need to learn how to do that to the so you believe there's the These messages have the benefit of not being limited by language barriers. They transcend words and speak directly to the sacred core. Again, all this concept, very real, very awesome. I love it. But it's just the space it was coming from, not for me. We have learned through repeated experimentation with this higher form of communication, that there is but one cosmic harmony to be tapped into. See, that's where my spirit was like, not for you. Not for you, Chase Clarence Calloway. More slavery. You see that? I do see that. Thank you, Iriso. Fuck that. We have learned through repeated experimentation with this higher form of communication that there is but one cosmic harmony to be tapped into. You can't just say that. So just because you as individuals are projecting your God onto everyone else. So because you did your own scientific experiments, you feel comfortable saying that everyone is the expression of one thing. That's so narcissistic. Again, all of us on Mercury, we are watching the entire universe be created by individuals wanting to connect with other individuals. It's that simple. That's how your body's created. Everything else is details from here. but it's about knowing that spirits are creative. That's the only way we can consume anything, because we created something we can consume. If you didn't create a body, you wouldn't be able to consume food that was also created by a different body. And that food wasn't created for you to consume it. If you were taught that that food was created for you to consume it, that's because you were taught by a narcissist that the world is here for you, and not that you're co-creating reality with individuals. So again, it's this religious mindset. All these religions are inherently narcissistic because they're saying that their idea of individuality created all of the connections happening in the universe, which is infinitely not possible and so dumb. So dumb. Wow. See, like only the one which manifests on different levels. So now, all of a sudden, I is Metatron, I is Hermes, I is Quetzalcoatl, I is Idris, I is Zoroaster, I is Ningishzida, I is Hermes. I have to learn about myself. I have to throw all my past lives. I as Tahuti Trismegistus have to learn that I am the expression of one individual from this random person breathing light ascension messaging me. And that's no different than everything that I've been hearing my whole life and what I already broke out of through fasting. So what's up? Like, it's so silly at this point. It's so silly. Only the one that manifests on different levels. There's no way that you're going to learn that you're the expression of one God from someone else. The whole point is you have to develop a personal relationship with God. That's what fasting is really about. That's where you're going to learn that you are the infinite individual. It's that simple. It's that simple. Man. Our hope is that our sound meditations can be employed to bring an individual into cosmic harmony with the one, and then they capitalized it. So they're really emphasizing the Christianity, the Holy Father aspect, the you are a child of something that you don't know, but we are enlightening you to it. And now you should go join us. You should go to our heaven. You need to worship our family. Literally, that's all this is. That's all this is. That's all this is. And it was like apparent, and then it becomes more and more apparent as they speak. You are not an expression of, everything is not the expression of one individual. That would defeat the purpose of life. We are all creating life because we as individuals want to connect with other individuals who we resonate with. That's the point of you having a soul. Your soul is how you connect with yourself, and you want to connect with individuals that connect with themselves similarly enough to the way you connect with yourself. Boom. That's a soul group. I just explained to you a soul group. I just explained to you what a family is, a religion, right? Every religion is individuals connecting with themselves in the same way, right? So that's why you can have 500 Christians. They would all hear something different from Jesus. If you ask them to write down the message they got from Jesus, they would all write down something different. And the church would just have to rationalize that by saying, Jesus spoke to each of you as individuals. No shit. Because everyone is an individual building their individual relationship with their own individuality, and we're all doing that together as individuals. So you're all just using ideas to do that. That's why people can say Jesus is real, even though they've never met him, they've never seen him, and the idea is stolen from Zoroastrianism. Simple. And then you can Google that and be like, oh shit, yeah, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. All Zoroastrianism. All Hermeticism. It's Mercurian. It's Odinism. Taken from Egypt. It's stolen from indigenous peoples in general. My reply. So this is created from the perspective that we are all aspects of one consciousness, right? So I just wanted to make sure that that's what I was hearing, that's what I was getting. Not from that perspective, but from the consciousness itself. That's the perspective. What is stupid? See, people don't know what the words they're saying are. Your perspective makes your consciousness. You can't say not from that perspective, but from the consciousness. The consciousness is the perspective. So you're telling me that your perspective is that we are all aspects of one consciousness. That's a perspective. You're saying all of us are playing out one form of consciousness, and you have the perspective of that. So you're saying not from that perspective, but the consciousness itself, because you're trying to say it's so high that it's just the ultimate truth. So demonic. So demonic. But from the consciousness itself, no. The notion that there is a singular primary energy that manifests itself on different planes and in different realms. Humanity as a form through which it can witness itself, communicate with itself. See, so now it's just more of me having to learn from different individuals that I am an expression of something that I've never met. And all these ideas are stolen from me as a spirit. But then they don't want to listen to me talk about that. They don't want to listen to me talk about the Caduceus. They don't want to listen to me talk about the Merkaba. They'll eat my knowledge. They'll listen to me talk about it, but they don't want to acknowledge me. They'll take the knowledge. They'll steal my knowledge, right? That's why like people will watch me and like communicate with me and take what I'm putting out, but they're going to keep doing it from the egotistic place of saying that I'm an expression of their God, so they deserve to steal what I'm saying. Because that's all the creation of the Americas. Like this whole legal system, the whole banking system was built by religion that believes that we are all an expression of their imagination. So they deserve to steal and rape and murder us forever. It's just do everything that they want to us. And it manifests subconsciously in people communicating like this. Symmetry is cutting this shit up. Not here for it. All right? This is what's causing climate change. My reply, are you saying that we are, as humans, all aspects of one consciousness talking to itself? Right? I just wanted to hammer that in more. Breathing Light Ascension replies, that we carry within us a core of sacred energy that, yes, is derived from the eternal source of power. Bro, see, this is where like no one has true hermeticism. True hermeticism is literally Spider-Man right there. With great power comes great responsibility. When you know that you have the power, that's you being the source. There's no power outside of you greater than your power. And then that's where you as a spirit create a life that's actually for you. You actually do what you got to do. You actually build your own heaven on earth right now, and you experience the life of your dreams type shit. Whoop-dee. It's just like, when you like don't believe that you have power, now you don't take responsibility for your actions. Again, this is what's causing climate change. This is why people are destroying the planet and just messing up the environment and supporting slavery while acting like they're not and acting like they're loving. It's insane. So yeah, they replied that we carry within us a core of sacred energy that, yes, is derived from the eternal source of power. And through us, this energy can evolve. It manifests in different ways. And they're just lost in energy. Like, I have to create energy to make this video right now. This energy has nothing to do with what this person is talking to me about. All the energy that I'm giving you in this video has jack shit to do with what this person is talking about. So it's me creating energy. It has nothing to do with them saying, you're an expression of our God, whether you know it or not. No, that's you being lost in your own shit. I can make it make more sense, but that's because I'm not lost in shit. Man. And again, it's just like, for me to have to learn that I'm the expression of something else, after I've already fasted for years and I've been alone in my space and I know who I am, I don't have the patience for this anymore. Like, my whole life has been upholding this and supporting this. There's no more patience for it. It's what's destroying the reality we're in, this kind of mentality. This is a mental illness, truly. Believing that we're all expressions of one individual, that's a mental illness. That's ultimate narcissism. We need to think about this shit like it's a mental illness, honestly. All right, as Hermes Trismegistus, I'm diagnosing monotheism as a mental illness. Okay? And I would know because I, as Zoroaster, created Zoroastrianism, which is documented as the first monotheistic religion. So, right there, just letting you know that actually believing that everything's the expression of one individual and not that you are the expression of your own individual, and thus you're supposed to worship yourself with others so you can build a life that's good for everybody in a community. If you don't know that, then you have like a spiritual mental illness. Like, instead of knowing that you are the God that's choosing to connect with other gods, you're taking the narcissism that should be kept inside of your space and projecting it out on everyone else. And you're just saying that everyone is the expression of your idea and everyone is the expression of your God. And if they don't realize it, then they need to. And now you're going to keep going out of your space to try to make people realize that they're the expression of your idea. And then we get the rape and murder of Native Americans and the whole creation of North, South, and Central America, and really the New World Order overall, right? In God we trust on the back of the money. So that's this mentality right here. And our consciousness is an aspect of the greater consciousness. Through our awareness, it can be aware of itself. Stupid. No. I am creating myself. You're erasing all of my individuality right here, telling me that I'm not me. So they literally have no idea who I am. I'm way older than all these concepts. I literally created these concepts just naturally from Mercury. So their whole idea of religion is like just watered down, lost astrology, spirituality. Like super watered down, egotistic, lost mental illness, spirituality, and astrology, where they're projecting their ego on everyone, saying that we are all an expression of one power, one source. Everyone, every single thing in existence, no matter how it feels about itself, is an expression of one form of consciousness. It's insane. This is a mental illness. Bro, it's wrong. All right. Are you familiar with the Buddhist image of Indra's web? Apply this imagery to consciousness awareness. Bro, and they keep and he's trying to talk to me like he's saying shit like I don't completely understand all these concepts. Bro, Cosmic Conversations is me going like hilarious Gemini mode. Like I'm really about to just be cutting shit up. Because like after like setting up like all these older Cosmic Conversations where I just like have a lot of like general psychology stuff, now it's way more about getting into the conversation part. And yeah, seeing how people's words move, basically. Because when we know that all these words have energy, then we can see the energy that people are expressing by putting them together in certain ways. My reply. And what is the eternal source of power? I lived many times and experienced many realms. I've always been my own source and my own awareness. That's how I create my body to communicate with you. This is what I said to them. Right now, you're teaching me that I'm an extension of something else. That's not me. Right? That I did that emoji and everything. Hilarious. Their reply, literally, they're trying to colonize me, telling me I'm not me, right? So here's what they say. Your notion of me or I is not illusory, but we may not be what you think it is. We are reflections. No, we're not. You have nothing to do with me, or else you would actually know who I am. So, stupid. We're not the same. You can't tell me we're reflections when you don't give a fuck about my past lives or like anything that I've done before this. You are just telling me that you're literally just projecting at me that I'm supposed to support your projection. So you're saying we're reflections because you're projecting that I need to connect with your projection. Because first it's projection, then reflection, right? So you either listen to me project that I'm an individual spirit and I'm creating myself, or you project at me that I'm a reflection of your idea. It's one of the two. It's one of the two at this point, it seems like. It really seems like it's one of the two at this point. It's pretty insane. The I you state that creates your body is not the I that is typing. Wrong. I as a spirit am the infinite individual. Bro, so whack. These are different teams of manifestation and vibration. Realms, not teams. See, man. And of course, I can make it work because the point is, I as a spirit am experiencing myself as an ego in the body. So my spirit is technically like I'm the ego then, and then really it's about the mind. So then it's like consciousness. So then it's really about like I as a spirit am experiencing myself as an ego inside of a form of consciousness, and that consciousness is created by my ego combining with my soul. So we think of my soul like the seat and my consciousness like the God. And then the mind is the Merkaba. So this is me as Metatron, literally the spirit that created Metatron to express itself. This is me telling you what the Merkaba means and how you're using your Merkaba right now to communicate your ego and soul through a body. You're using your mind right now to communicate your ego and soul through a body. And you're doing that forever to build a family, to transform through space. And then now we have all of my number shit as Tahuti. My reply, right, I agree. As a spirit, my space is observing my space. Once my space connects with itself, it creates a soul. This soul can now feel like connecting with others through the body. That doesn't mean that I, as a spirit, was created by another mind. Only my mind can express my space, and that's only possible through light. So here we are, human using light to communicate with one another. Humans, you feel me? See, I just let them know the perspective that I'm coming from, right? Their reply, we agree with you to a point. That's hilarious. But the human mind is an earthly manifestation of a greater cosmic harmony. Wrong. I see, they just got lost in words right there. I'm using human like H-U-E, but they took it in quotation marks, and just as a demon, they can't perceive that I'm talking about creating consciousness. And that's what it means to be human, having your own mind. That's what it means to be human, having your own form of consciousness. They're taking it as, no, but humans are truly just an expression of some greater consciousness. No, that consciousness is a human consciousness. The whole point is that consciousness is a human because consciousness is colorful, and all humans are colorful. So your human is you expressing your mind through color. That's why we're all humans here. We're all expressing our minds through these colorful bodies. We don't need to get lost in race. There's no race at that point. You see that? With symmetry, there's no race there. The whole point is you're using light to express your mind. That's a human. You're a light man. Boom. Human, a colorful mentality. Right? Your ego is white, your soul is black, but guess what? Nothing is black and white. So that's your spirit. So your spirit creates the ego and soul to create the human. So your spirit creates white and black to create the actual colors that allow your consciousness to be the human experience. So you are the human experience. And then you're having this human experience through the body. And that's through the structure. That's through the things that you're communicating inside of. Boom. See, they just don't see it from this perspective. Of course, because they're not me. They're going to tell me that we're reflections because they want to colonize me, but they're obviously not me. I'm a separate individual. On this plane, the mind is limited. That's why many of us undertake the path of reconnection. See, they're projecting at me that I'm not connected. See, they're just telling me that they're not connected to themselves. So they can only relate with me as far as they relate with themselves. Literally. So all they can do is tell me that we're all on a path of reconnection. And it's no, I came here connected with myself. That's why you can't tell me that we're reflections. You literally don't know shit about me. You're just projecting your garbage at me. Breathing light ascension. This is the nature of mysticism, to commune with the eternal mind, which is not our own, but which is our own. See, that's alien abduction talk right there. We have true ascension. The true point of mysticism is to communicate with the eternal mind, which is not ours, but it is ours. No, you just said it's not our own. I, as Tahuti Trismegistus, have always created my own mind. That's how I built Mercury. That's how I build simulations as symmetry. So you telling me that I need to commune with the eternal mind and you don't even care who I am is laughable. It's laughable. It's hilarious. It shows me how, completely, again, this is a mental illness. But I understand that people's idea of spirituality is just colonized by feeling like a victim. Okay, so this person is just going to, get into the victim energy of, no, you can't be the power. You have to know that the power is always outside of you. Because who are you? And then it's just ego shit. And they project by saying that I'm in my ego. But no, they're in their ego for saying that you yourself are not a spirit. because they can't see you as a space. So they're telling you that you're created by something. So that's them in their ego. So they have to use their language to bind your soul. And now they get you wrapped in witchcraft. It's really fucked down here. All right? It's really fucked down here. It's deep. I replied, well, I'm indigenous. As an indigenous individual, I've been the source of all my lives. So my soul is separate from all other souls. And the only way a soul that is not mine can connect with me is if I choose to vibe with them. So after having my own mind all my lifetimes, for you to tell me that I don't have my own mind is not in resonance with my soul. Boom! See how we're not aspects of one consciousness now? See how I'm an individual separate spirit from yourself. And now you'd have to choose to learn about me to perceive new life in the universe. It's all perception and projection at that point. Boom. I just made that as simple as possible for them. Like, they literally cannot tell me that we're reflections of one thing, or else I would actually resonate with what they're telling me. So, but like, we're not the same because they don't care about my past lives. They don't know my life at all. So again, it's just them projecting at me, which is why I said it's all perception and projection at that point. They reply, we're not denying the mind, but even in indigenous spirituality, the worldly plane is animistic. See, like, they're not even grasping what I'm saying. You know, like, that had nothing really to do with what I just said, actually, though. Plants, animals, and humans are all energized by a spirit. They're all separate individuals and entities, but there is a greater spirit which animates, into which tribute offered as well. See, so he's saying that everything in existence is animated by one spirit right there. He's saying that I'm not my own spirit. I as Hermes, I as Tahuti, I as Enoch, the Metatron star, I as Ningishzida, I as Idris, I as Quetzalcoatl, I as the mind that built Mercury am not my own spirit. He's telling me that I am the expression of a spirit that I'm just now learning about through him. How stupid would that be for me to believe that when I literally know who I am? And this person is telling me that they don't even know who they are and they're not connected with themselves. It would be infinitely stupid, infinitely retarded, actually. Like, I would be mentally ill to believe this and somehow be disconnected from my Mercurian family and my Atlantean family. So now this is just where it would get into war energy, right? Because now this person would be like, you don't have a family outside this world. You're only this world, and that's why you need to serve the power. Like, I would just be listening to them talk about themselves. That has nothing to do with me. That's all your shit. You know, like, boom. Like, then that's just where we got to find this balance of, like, learning how to address demons while protecting ourselves from demons. Having participated in rituals with the Bear Clan Mohawks, we can attest to this being a central point of that spirituality. See, like, their idea of indigenous spirituality is literally getting rid of the indigenous. Indigenous is individual. Indigenous, individual. All of these indigenous tribes respect the individuality of each other. That's why they didn't need one new world order or one world government controlling all of them through money, because they respected each other's individuality. They didn't believe that they were all expressions of one spirit masturbating and fighting itself. They respected that you as a spirit chose to get born here, and now you're the synchronicity. That's why I, as an indigenous individual, symmetry, the trippy tripsy psychedelic psychopomp, am letting you know that you are the synchronicity in your life. Always have been, always will be. And now your whole life is synchronized with all these other synchronicities. And that's all the individual spirits that you're co-creating life with by communicating your nothing into something. And that's alchemy. That's real alchemy. Knowing that life is created by individuals who want to connect with other individuals. Life is not the expression of one individual connecting with itself. That's disgusting. That's so infinitely narcissistic. Oh, boo, you're making my brain hurt. The more I really have to try and somehow believe that in the space that I'm in. Like, it's impossible. Completely impossible. My reply, okay, cool. I see where you're getting tripped up. You're not perceiving that indigenous people know that life is being created by individual spirits who want to connect with other individuals. The whole point of physical reality being created is so one space can connect with another space, not so one space can masturbate and talk to itself through a bunch of objects. Because that's what this is. That's what they're saying spirituality is. They're saying spirituality is one space masturbating and talking with itself through all of us, whether you know it or not. So no matter what you do, you're the expression of this one individual using you for itself. That sounds like whoever made up money taking over the world. That sounds like their wet dream. For sure. That doesn't make sense to indigenous people, literally. That literally denies the individuality of a spirit, and that's the kind of mentality that resulted in their genocide. See how thinking every space is an expression of one space erases the indigenous spirituality of individuals and basically defeats the whole purpose for life, for spirit souls to connect through light forms, right? Like, what's the point in you getting a partner or like building any kind of family if it was just all an expression of one individual using all of you to talk to itself? Like, where's the magic in that? There's absolutely none. There's absolutely none. They reply, this is a rather broad generalization, as there are many forms of indigenous spirituality and varying beliefs between different tribes and peoples. What tribe do you claim heritage from? The whole point, oh my God, indigenous is literally individual. Like, indigenous peoples are not Christian. Like, you have a Christian mentality, breathing light ascension. So Christians can only perceive indigenous peoples as Christian. We're not Christian. We don't think like you. That's why we don't function like you, and that's why you need to rape and murder us and lie about it. And say that it's your love. Say that it's your expression of light. And say that it's all okay because we're all children of God. My reply, indigenous means individual. So all indigenous peoples have had their individuality erased by this English language. Again, I remember my past lives. So I remember the time before the Industrial Revolution, right? This person can't even perceive that my mind is functioning before this body, before coming into this reality. I'm operating at a greater level than this timeline. Like, that's especially the point of fasting at this point. So they can't perceive that. They can't perceive that I, as Mercury, have been observing the universe. And this is this is my cosmic memory of just like categorizing the universe. And me intentionally coming here is part of me observing what was going on in the simulation before I was born. That's my starting point. Observing what's going on in the simulation before getting born. That's my starting point. That's technically everyone's starting point. But me as Mercury, I built a structure that makes sense of every time I am born. So when I'm born, it's going to be connected to Mercury. I'm going to be a messenger of my own structure. I'm not just in someone else's structure upholding it. No, I'm a messenger of mine. I'm a messenger of spirituality, of individuality, because my structure was built by me as an individual, right? This person has nothing to do with that. All they can say is that I'm a reflection of them because they want to eat me. Just like everyone else in this reality, everyone else in this universe, everyone else in this simulation, all their spirituality is telling me that I'm a reflection of them because they want to eat me, because that's the world I'm in. So I gotta change the way I'm communicating and do things to make sure we actually progress better than how people are thinking right now. His reply, Mohawk, Oibawa, Abenaki, etc. all have varying belief systems with regard to creation. My reply, I'm supporting Catawba. Again, these are all English understandings. The whole point is that you don't exist if you don't create yourself. Like, it's that simple. You don't exist if you don't create yourself. If I wasn't creating this video, it wouldn't exist. And then it wouldn't be added to Cosmic Conversations. It wouldn't be a part of the symmetry. And now it wouldn't be a structure that represents my space. That simple, right? But they want to colonize this tree. So of course they would say that, no, your thing is an expression of our God. And it's just their ego wanting to eat. And that's where you get cannibalism and just like spiritual looking for connection and spiritual vampires in general.